Good afternoon, guys. Gonna give you guys some details here, some more information. I actually did a quick overview on this episode I'm doing right now. I did it on I posted on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those social media websites is on there. So once again, I'm gonna post this where I'm talking about 4.5 seismic activity hit north of Canada. Once again, welcome to my episode here. I just want to thank you guys so much. Today's date is March 8th, 2026. Let me get the date out of the way and kind of give you guys a great, basically, overview of what to expect and how this is going to affect our lives. I'm going to give you guys a little run through of what's really happening here. As I was saying, guys, the eastern part of Canada, and not just the eastern part of Canada, folks, this is affecting places like the border between New York and Canada is now being affected. There's an uptick with certain activity. Maine, the border between Maine and Canada, also New Jersey, have happened to be part of this. This is all has to do with the, as I said before, the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, what's happening over there. Whenever these huge seismic activity and the shifting start happening through the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and it run all the way through Iceland. It's actually splitting Iceland in two. Now, as I said before, folks, this is one of the main reason why all of this is happening over there in Canada. You're going to see a very large uptick happening in places like Ottawa. You guys are going to get a lot of seismic activity in the near future. Quebec, Montreal, and also Toronto. And the crazy part about this, folks, is that we can't do nothing about it. We can't stop it. We have to see it for what it is and accept it. I have already accepted, so that's the reason why I'm doing these videos to let people know why I talk about certain things, especially the bug out bag. I'm going to throw the bug out bag once again in this little episode right here. This is part of the reason why I pushed the bug out bag, because of what's happening to our Earth, our planet, seismic activity, the shifting of the plates, volcano activity, the grid, war, rumors of war. The grid cannot stay up through these things. It's not possible. So now listen to this carefully. Ontario, places like Ontario, Quebec, and these location, folks, Toronto, these location, they have very low seismic activity happening in these areas. From 1970 to 1999, they have an average of 1 to 2. 1 to 2 earthquake per year. This little section, very small earthquake, by the way. No 4.7. Extremely small. They were having small seismic activity there due to the fact that the Mid-Atlantic Ridge always adds stress to this part of the world. But it was nothing crazy where it's on the news. But all of a sudden, whenever earthquake hit these regions, they're not just on the news, folks. These areas are actually coming with tsunami warnings. Listen to me carefully. Tsunami warnings, guys. This 4.7 that just hit north of Montreal and Quebec, they had a tsunami alert. It came with one. That blew my mind. But again, I'm not surprised. I know what's about to unfold. Our future as we know it has changed. A lot of people don't see it properly yet because they're not paying attention. They're just going about living their lives, paying their bills. And I get it. I understand. People are caught up in society And because of these bills and stress, they have no time to really think about anything else or think properly. It's not possible. Now, along places like Ottawa and Quebec, guys, in the past 30 years, I'm reading a little bit of note I just jotted to the side of my computer here. Along the past 30 years, they, as I said before, keep in mind, along Ottawa and Quebec, 2 to 3 earthquake have been recorded. 2 to 3. And this is in the past 30 years. Ontario have anywhere between 1 to 2 per year, side of Ontario. But where Ottawa and Quebec is, they've had 2 to 3 in the past 30 years. The western part of Canada, they see around 10 quakes per year, because the western part of Canada, where you find Vancouver Island, it's running alongside, basically. It's not that far. I mean, not close either, but that's where you find the Cascade subduction zone, the Pacific plate. That area is more active, so they're going to get more seismic activity on that side. The San Andreas fault line is basically on that same side of the world, Cascade subduction zone. So they tend to see more of this type of activity. They're more used to it. But moving over to the eastern part of Canada, this is what's freaking people out, because now they're pretty much getting what? Four, I say at this point, they're getting like 4 now a month, maybe 5, probably even more. They're bigger than 2.0. Some of them are reaching all the way up to 4.7. Listen, guys, I'm not saying 4.7 is, oh my God, 4.7 is crazy. I'm not saying that. It's not a big earthquake. I'm just letting you know this type of activity in this region is not normal. And I'm bringing attention to it, that something is happening. Old ancient fault line is basically starting to activate. And I'm doing this video, try to get into get as much detail in this video as possible for people to understand that there's going to come a time when people that live on this part of the world, on Eastern Canada, also in New Jersey, also in New York, where you guys are going to start seeing infrastructure damages because of seismic activity. And there's also going to come a time where the grid is not going to be up. It's not if, my beautiful viewers. It's just a matter of when this is going to unfold. Places like New Jersey, places like New York, these are not places. These places now have the potential. I just saw another article where it said these places have the potential now to get earthquake over 5.0 and bigger. Listen to me carefully. Experts are actually coming out saying, you know what? We never thought we would say this, but we're saying it now. If you live in the state of New York, if you live in the state of New Jersey, the possibility of seeing a 5.0 magnitude or bigger is there, and it's very likely. Jersey had a 4.5 back in 2000, and let me see. I did put a note of it. Back in 2004, they had a 4.5, guys. New Jersey. I mean, it made the news. I actually predicted that earthquake. That video I think it happened right after the eclipse. I predicted Jersey was supposed to get hit, and it did. But listen up carefully. Before that happened, Jersey wasn't barely getting any earthquake. They were actually in Jersey, on that side of the world, Jersey, New York, they were getting 10 microquakes a year. 10 microquakes. Now, when I say microquakes, I'm saying anything below 1.0 magnitude and lower. They're so small that it don't make any sense you shine a light on it, because no one's going to feel it. It's so small. But now, they said after that 4.8 back in 2024 that I predicted that would happen, and it did. That video, I think it hit like every platform I put that video on, it hit over 1 million views. That was the first time I actually ever hit 1 million views on TikTok and also on Instagram. So I will never forget that moment. 2 years ago when I predicted that event. Now, after that 4.8, they said New Jersey is getting 35, anywhere between 35 to 40 earthquakes a year. And these earthquakes are recorded over 2.0 and bigger. Anywhere between 35 to 40 earthquakes a year. Once the seismic activity passed 2.0 magnitude and up, USGS shine a light on it. That's how they work. If it's on their microquakes, not really paying it too much attention. They don't really want to, they don't really want to bring it up, basically. But I'm bringing it up. New York, the border between New York, gear up, because in the coming future, which is very close, we're going to go through this basically, guys, for 200 years. Anyone that watched my episode, watched my video, this is something, I sound like a broken record saying this thing right here, saying this part, but I'm not going to stop saying it because I know what I'm saying is true. I've done my research, because the reason why I come up with this number is because I've studied the Mayans, the extinction of the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Atlants, the Atlanteans, the Sumerians, the Egyptians. All civilization at one point came to a complete screeching halt. Why? That's a good question, right? Why did they all of a sudden disappear off the face of the earth? I'll tell you why. Because they were all of those human civilization I just mentioned, they all went through the same thing. They all went through a crisis that lasted for 200 years. They all did. It's not something you're going to find in the, it's not going to be common knowledge. They all did, though. During this crisis, seismic activity, increase in seismic activity, movement in tectonic plate, increase in volcanic activity, storms on a level they have never seen before, famine in a way they have never seen before. And if you start digging into it, starting back in 2001 or 2002, they have noticed that famine on this planet is increasing around the world. People are suffering. People are going to bed without food due to the fact that there's drought. There's no water for crops. And they realize there's nothing they can do, and something is happening to our planet. Well, the media, mainstream, they all call it global warming. I'm not going to call it global warming. Because our planet is not getting hotter. It's actually getting colder. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. The reason why summertime seems so hot is the fact that our electromagnetic field have weakened, so more UV rays coming through on us, so it's hotter. That is the only reason. But realistically, the planet is cooling off. We're actually going into a mini ice age. The process of a mini ice age. Interesting times. It is. This is a cyclical cycle that happened every 3,654 years. We're at the end of it. We're going to go through this period for 200 years, and all these activity that's going on right now over there, especially this big quake that's just happening in northern part of eastern part of Canada, the northern part of that, the northern part of the eastern part of Canada is what I'm trying to say, which is very rare for these people. And you're watching this video, I just want to let you know, I hope no one is hurt, but you have to start accepting this as your reality, because there's nothing you can do to stop what's about to unfold. They're going to get bigger. The land is going to shift even more. Canada is going to get affected, eastern part of Canada, seriously affected, due to the fact of the stress that's been happening to the eastern part of the eastern craton that's on the North American continent. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge is tugging at it, and it's a lot of energy. South Carolina, wow. Another video I talk about in South Carolina, I'm also going to throw this in there. That's also one of the reasons why this is now unfolding in South Carolina. Because people in South Carolina are wondering why all of a sudden seismic activity is increasing at a rate we have never seen before. They're worried, but they're also thinking maybe this will all go away soon. I have news for you. It won't. It will only escalate. Going back again to my whole thing of saying, have a bug out bag. The grid will not be able to withstand what's going to happen. So if you live in a city area or close to a city area, basically if you live in an area where it's highly populated with people, when the grid go down, it's not if, it's when. After 48 hours of not getting back electricity, I think you should start thinking on where you need to go with your family. The goal is to get away from people. I've done numerous episodes on bug out bags and actually how to operate with your bug out bags with your family and how to move. I hope you can find them if you go through my Instagram page, Facebook, TikTok page, X, Spotify, you'll find it. And I go into great details of the stuff that you need. All of this is tying to each other, folks. Wars, rumors of wars, it's all tied into what I'm talking about. Everything is tied into what's in the sky. No, that's a whole nother topic. I do mention it sometimes. Our solar system is being interrupted by a binary solar system with a sun, 7 planets, and 4 moons. It's a cyclical cycle which occur every 3,654 years. And this is the consequences of it. But they can't let people know this. They really have to keep you distracted. So it's one distraction after another, after another, after another. It's not stopping. But this is where you yourself have to start doing your research and start seeing like, wow, why is this going on? Start seeing it for what it is. It's now March 8th, 2026. 4.7 earthquake magnitude earthquake just hit eastern part of Canada, and there's more on its way. New York, border of New York, between New York and Canada, earthquakes are coming. New Jersey, Maine, South Carolina. It's not going to stop. Big quakes are also going to hit the Caribbean, between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and also southern part of Puerto Rico, and also the British Virgin Islands in the coming days. Why? Because the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is going to cause all of that. And it's going to you're going to watch everything just unfold. And I'm going to be there to tell you, I told you so. This type of information, guys, that I'm giving you, it's not something that's going to be accepted by everyone. It's not going to. It really isn't. Because at the base of all of this that I'm telling you, what's causing it is the return of extraterrestrials. And not a lot of people want to believe that. They're not going to want to accept that, especially the religious folks. You tell them God is an alien who fly around in a spacecraft, a giant extraterrestrial human, they're going to laugh at you and think you're nuts. But it is what it is. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It doesn't mean I'm crazy. We as human beings have to come to the conclusion, and we have to wake up to this really fast. We've been lied to. A lot of the stuff we've led to believe is not true. A lot of this stuff. So what we need to do is to unlearn the stuff that we've learned, and then we have to go back and relearn the stuff that we need to learn. And once you know the truth, you become aware. Once you become aware, that's the only way you're going to learn how to survive the next 200 years. Without any form of awareness of the truth, you won't. Question, to the point that I was talking about awareness. How many people are aware that they need to start creating a bug out bag because of this seismic event that's about to unfold? How many people you know that do that? Don't worry, I'll wait. I do it. And I know people that I've shared this information with on my platforms. They will message me and tell me, hey, Nick, I'm doing this now because you said so. So they would send me pictures. So I know people that I've made the video and then encourage them to do it are doing this. But realistically, how many people do this? I've had people that told me, hey, Nick, I try to help my family. I try to warn them, but they all think I'm nuts. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Baby, I'm the king of crazy. You know how many times I've been called crazy? That's why I now see myself as the king of crazy. That's what I call myself, the king of crazy. It is what it is, folks. I hope this information helps someone. And that is the only reason why I make this video, is to give you guys details and clarity, especially for these locations that I was mentioning. Once again, thank you for watching this episode. And I can't wait to make another one for you folks because I enjoy it. I do. Stay blessed. I love each and every one of you. Ciao.